also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. Sutras of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra. How to be aware in the moments when consciousness is changing gears. I had told you yesterday, consciousness keeps on changing gears. Or you can say our moods, in simple language, moods keep on changing moment to moment. You are talking to someone, one moment it is acceptable, next moment it is not. And we remain swinging between these pairs of opposites. How to be aware when consciousness is changing gears or your moods are suddenly changing? You can say that the mood changed because what did this man said or this person said was not appropriate. How to do it? Let us start with one thing that everyone does. We go to sleep. While going to sleep, relax. Don't go to sleep when it is tense. Close your eyes. Let there be darkness or very mild light. Just close your eyes, and now you are waiting for the sleep to come. Just as in meditation you close your eyes and wait for the Sufi terminology is tawajjuh, or the energy field, to flow towards you. It's not that it is not flowing, it is constantly flowing. You have switched it off. It's like, do you think there is imagine your whole house is wired for electric current, electrical energy to move, but there are terminals that you can switch on and switch off at your will and pleasure. You come to a room, you switch on the light. Does it mean the electric current is not there? Between the electric current, the flow of the electric current, and the source where there will be an illumination, there is a switch put on for application. You turn on the switch, light turns on, air conditioner turns on, and this does not mean the energy is not flowing. In the same way, now in case of a human being, it is slightly different. It is not that there is an apparent switch like an electrical switch that you turn on and off. It is actually the circumstances and situations that come moment to moment. They turn off and turn on in it. You are talking to me. But Master is not to please you. He is to hammer you. He is to take you into the situations and make you aware. Master says something, but you analyze it, understand it in your own way, and you respond accordingly. And that is the reason that the flow of the current is switched off. For instance, if I ask you to touch your particular, to use your equipment, or anything, do I need your permission? Now you understand it in your own way. You understand it in your own way. You said, yes, surely you have the permission. But do you know what did you say? It was a test. If there is a love between two people, it is the ego that seeks the permission. It is the ego that separates this from that. This is mine, that is yours. Kabir says, when I was not, he was. The ego vanishes, then what remains? The moment the light is switched on, there is only light, there is only awareness. And in that, if you have to use your any equipment, do you seek permission from anybody? But you consider this is yours. But if somebody else, as this we call the social courtesy, wise you ask, can I use your this or that? So the energy is constantly flowing like electrical energy, but our understanding and thoughts, specifically the understanding at the moment of thought expression, switches off or switches on. Sometimes, you took my pen but you didn't ask my permission. This is all the outcome of ego. So when Master says something, be very aware. Why did he say that? You have to remember he is not operating, his understanding is not like your understanding. But yet still, because there is a difference between your and his understanding, he follows the rules of courtesy. And if you are flowing within his energy field, you can simply give a smile. What kind of question are you asking me? Are you testing me? Or do you require the permission really? And so when the sleep is coming, you are waiting in the sense that your connection is not always there. You would have seen sometimes, if the battery is not working, I have seen that they connect they touch the two wires and all of a sudden something starts. So you are waiting. Don't do anything, because the situation is you are not aware, you are learning how to be aware. So sleep is coming, wait, don't do anything. Or sleep hasn't come in as yet, so you get up, turn on the light, put on your first thing that we do, we look at our smartphones. So that time just wait. Your body is relaxing. Sleep will come only when the body is totally relaxed. The body is becoming heavy because the sleep is coming. Just as when anesthesia is given, your voice gets heavier and heavier. The tongue becomes heavy. So it starts lingering. When the anesthetist asks you to count, very quickly we say 1, When we say 2, it is 2. 3 becomes lingering. After that, everything finishes. The body is becoming heavy. Feel it. Have the feeling of it. Sleep has its own mechanism. It starts working. How does the anesthetist know that anesthesia has started working? With the tongue getting heavier and heavier, he knows that the anesthesia is working. So sleep has its own mechanism. Has started working. Your waking consciousness is vanishing. Remember, because the moment will be very subtle. Moment will be very subtle and the moment will be atomic. If you miss, you miss. At a precise moment, what time, what is the gap between turning on the switch and the bulb getting lit? Can you precisely measure, or it should be a moment that cannot be captured, but it does exist? And in spirituality, we have to be aware of that moment. If you miss that moment. Today you miss when the waking consciousness was vanishing and the sleep consciousness was coming. It is not a very long period, a single moment. By the time you say 1, the moment is gone, because the moment, in order to utter the letter or number 1, takes longer time than a moment. A very small gap and you will change from waking to sleeping. Just wait, fully aware, go on waiting. This will take time. It takes at least 3 months for you to be totally aware of that precise moment. It is easy, but it requires persistent practice. Only then you have the glimpse one day of the moment which is just in the middle between the waking and the sleep consciousness. Do not rush to have it, to become aware of it in a day or two, or get frustrated that I had been doing for weeks and it has not happened. You cannot do it just now. This is what you have to understand. But this does not mean at the same time that you cannot do that. Today this question I ask you, can I use this thing? You miss the opportunity. Master will give you another opportunity. See, when you become aware, there is no need to be sorry for it. There is no need to regret. You are in the process of growth, process of transformation. Many moments like this will come when you will miss the message of the Master. But persistence, dedication, sincerity, and discipline will make you one day the message of the Master. You cannot do it tonight, but you have to start this from tonight, this very moment. And you may have to wait for months for this to happen. Sometimes it happens, transformation happens in a moment. Sometimes the life takes, nothing happens. Ordinarily, within 3 months, one day it happens. It is happening every day, but your awareness and the meeting of the gap cannot be planned. When you will be aware, when the two will not be, it is happening. You go on waiting and waiting for days, and one day suddenly it happens. Some days suddenly you become aware that you are neither awake nor asleep. This is a very weird phenomenon. You may even become afraid because you have known only two. You know when you are sleeping, you know when you are awake, but you do not know the third possibility, the third point in your being when you are neither. You know that you are male, you know that you are female, but do you know that you are neither male nor female? Then what are you? Physically you are male or female, but Buddha is neither male nor female. That does not mean his body develops certain things. No. His consciousness, which was, your consciousness is feminine or masculine. You are either in love or not in love, but you do not know the state between the two, a state when neither love is nor the absence of it. You are either moralist or immoralist, but you do not know the word immoral. Neither moralist nor immoralist. These are the divisions of the mind. So it happens, Buddha looks very feminine. Sometimes the looks also changes. A female awakened one looks like masculine. Certain masculine tendencies start developing in you. Tendencies. The extreme may also happen. Ramakrishna practiced almost 7 to 8 different traditions. Like you are an explorer. You want to explore your city. There is a central point in your city which is very important. It may be in the center. The route will be from north to that, from south to that, east to that, west to that. And each route has its own ambience, scenery and things. So he went from one path, reached to the center, the awakening, returned, and then did it with different paths. There is a particular tradition that is known as Sakhi Sampradaya. Sakhi means friend. Krishna is the only male, and all other devotees, male or female, they are female. So Ramakrishna practiced the Sakhi Sampradaya, Sakhi tradition, and in that he developed breasts. Sometimes when you are deeper in meditation, deeper in meditation, you will experience that you are developing breasts, enlarging. I'm talking about in case of male. That happens when the two are merging into one another. This does not mean, in case of Ramakrishna, it did happen, got the symptoms of menstruation as well, but it took 6 months for him to come out of that state. This does not mean if the breasts are developing, the nipples will also get bigger like a female one. No, it does not. May happen, may not happen, but you will experience the enlargement of breasts. So this is what happens. So you are not aware of the third point. You are aware only of the waking or the sleeping. Your being when you are neither, that is the third point. At the first impact of it, you will become afraid and scared. Don't get scared and don't be afraid of it. Anything which is new, unknown, previously you become afraid of it. That's why we don't like the unknown and unknowable. Although we go on pretending that we know God, but God is unknown and unknowable. You think you have known, but no, you do not. And the moment you reach the realm of new, unknown and unknowable, it is bound to give a certain fear, because this moment when you will have experience it again and again, it will give you another feeling also, that you are neither alive nor dead, neither this nor that. This is the abyss, the point. That is why you would have observed that very often I use the word abyss. Abyss is that state when neither this nor that, the absence of the two, neither alive nor dead, neither male nor female. This abyss is your center. These two mechanisms are like two hills, the waking and sleeping. You jump from one peak to another. If you remain in the middle, you will fall into the abyss, and the abyss is bottomless. You jump from waking to sleeping and sleeping to waking. But if you fall between the two, become aware of the two, you fall into the abyss, the valley, and that valley is bottomless. You go on falling and falling, and you will never know its depth. But it sounds scary. What will happen to you then? You have those who are intimate with the Master, they will know that they go on falling deeper and deeper. Sufis have used this technique, and before they give this technique to a seeker, they will give another practice, and also just to safeguard. Whether this technique is given in Sufi system, whenever this technique is given in Sufi system, before it, another practice is given, and that is to imagine with closed eyes that you are falling in the deep well. Before it actually happens, you close your eyes and feel that you are falling into a deep well, dark, deep and bottomless. Before this practice is given, Sufi masters do that. Maybe you may not be aware of it, but it does. Just imagine falling into deep well, falling, falling and falling, eternally falling. There is no end. It's not like that there is a place where you can stop. No, you go on falling. It is bottomless abyss. You cannot reach to the bottom. Now, this fall cannot stop anywhere. Once it starts, you start going deeper and deeper and deeper into your being. You can stop, you can open your eyes and say no more. But this fall in itself cannot stop. So people get afraid and they open their eyes and stop. If you continue, the well is bottomless and it gets more and more dark. You remember the largest, the 3/4 of the world, of the universe is dark. The energy that comes from the sun is from the dark surface of the sun. There is dark energy and dark matter. Shiva is embodiment of dark energy, and Shakti, his consort, is an embodiment of dark metal. In Sufi system, this well exercise, this bottomless dark well exercise is to be practiced first. It is good, helpful. If you have practiced this and you have realized the beauty of it, the silence of it, the depth of it, the magnanimity, the graciousness, the grandeur of it, and more silent you will become. The world is left far away and you will feel that you have gone far, far, far away. Silence grows with darkness. Silence grows with darkness in the night. There is more silence all around. And deep down there is no bottom. Fear comes to the mind, but you know this is just an imagination, so you can continue. Through this exercise, you become capable of this technique, and then when you fall into the well between waking and sleeping state, it is no more imagination. It is a real fact. But before you learn how to change the consciousness, become aware when the consciousness is changing gear, use the Sufi technology. In culinary there is a word used, fusion dishes. What is the purpose of a master? To bring about transformation in you or keep you that this is Sufi path. So I am Muslim, I come from Sufi path, I am not interested in Guru Nanak or this or that. I want original, authentic Indian dish or the Chinese dish. But it is the bliss comes in when there is a fusion. How else I could make you aware of this particular moment when consciousness is changing gear? There is fear. How to overcome that fear? So if you are versatile, You know about different arts of culinary. You can fuse Mexican and Indian, Indian and Chinese. That's how the Hakka dishes came into existence. You can infuse fusion of Italian pizza, give it a Mexican taste or Indian taste. You can make a tandoori chicken pizza. The French did using the pesto sauce instead of using the tomato based sauce as a base for pizza. They use pesto sauce, which is used with green ingredients. So if I put it, transformation or satiation comes through fusion alone. So if I wasn't aware of it, then I cannot take you into that state. I recall when one day during the talks my uncle Sufi Onkar Nath said, many would have heard, all those who was there, they would have heard, whenever God gives you an opportunity to do his work, open a department store, you will take it literally. But the essence of this is department store means it is not a specific store. Don't you know that department stores are more successful than specific ones? Don't you think Walmart is more popular than Restaurant Depot? More people go to Walmart or Amazon because the common man, what they need, that is available in department store. If you want a particular carat of jewel, that is a specific requirement, then you don't need to go to Walmart or some other store, or you don't need to go Amazon. Everybody's requirement is of basic things, so the first thing that comes to our mind is go to Amazon, go to Walmart. Isn't it so? So you have to be, when I heard that, I understood it in essence. Then one day while talking to my father, he said, you talk this and you talk that. I said, the common man, you have to know what the common man's requirement is. Common man's requirement is resources are limited. He don't have much time to go here and there, and he don't have the resources even. So it is better to have a department store. So I have a spiritual department store. I can use the fusion dishes, incorporate this technique into that. There is no watertight division that a Sufi technique cannot be used in yoga path. Or a yoga, deep down if you look into, there is nothing division. Spirituality is not division. All roads that lead you to that central place, or let us say Washington DC, Lincoln Memorial, you can reach that from all different directions, side roads, by roads, all other roads. Your target is to not follow this particular route. Is following the particular route is your objective, or to reach to the Lincoln Center, Lincoln Memorial? If your object is to reach to the Lincoln Memorial, use which is the shortest route for you. There may be traffic on some route, maybe something else, there may be congestion. Use the alternate routes. Don't you use alternate routes when you're going to your work or to any specific place? Why can't we use alternate routes to assist us in our process of transformation? And the space between waking and sleeping is bottomless. The abyss is bottomless. That is why Buddha had called it nothingness or emptiness. There is no end to it. Once you know it, you become endless. It is difficult to have the glimpse of it while awake. It is impossible, of course, when you are asleep. While waking, it is difficult, but while you are asleep, it is impossible. Then the mechanism is functioning. It is difficult to detach yourself from this mechanism, but there is a moment in the night, in the morning, another moment in 24 hours. There are two moments when it is easy, but one has to wait. Now I'll continue to this on this in next session. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.